Alright, I get this question all the time, which is, I'm getting a lot of web-related questions today, but what do I do when I've started a web project with somebody and they have up and disappeared? The bigger question is, what do I do when I've fallen out with my graphic designer? Well, my first bit of advice is do some credentialing and get some references in advance. And if you're not hearing from happy customers that got exactly what they paid for, I'd consider not choosing that person. However, if you've already gone ahead and engaged somebody and let go of some money, I'll give you a couple of parameters. Once you've done your credentialing, if you've bothered to do that, give 50% up front and give 50% upon completion. That's awesome incentive for that person to make sure that they finish your project, they finish it to your satisfaction if they want to get the rest of their money. Those that pay anybody all up front can anticipate having some trouble. And it's not always with ill intentions that occurs. Life pops up, especially if it's a side hustle for somebody. They may get a new job, they may have a crisis at home, there may be a plethora of reasons why they don't meet their obligation. But you know what? They've already been paid all of their money, so there's not a whole lot of incentive for them to make it a priority. So first, don't part with the entire fee up front. That's just poor business practice. But more importantly, if you've either had a website that you no longer have access to because you can't find your designer, or if you have fallen out mid-project and it's not complete, I would go ahead and stand up for yourself and try and get your funds back, although that's a futile effort, I find, for most of the clients that come to us where we have to clean up a mess. And or recreate a new presence because the old one has somehow disappeared. I recommend that you take some preventative action, some of the tools that I just provided you with, but also always ensure that you are the owner of your hosting account. Always ensure that you are the registered owner of your domain name. That gives you power even if you lose touch with your web designer, which means that you still own those two things. You still have access and the passwords to those two things, and thus even if you can't make changes to and or gain access to your original files that created your website, you can start over and still have that same brand, those two same branding elements, and or you can hire somebody else who may know how to gain access. But really, as far as falling out, your best bet, if you've had that type of experience, is to simply start from scratch. If you have the ability to relinquish, or not relinquish, but recover your content in any way, both the text and the imagery, try to do that. But if not, your better bet is to find a more trusted professional that can do it for you, and this time do it the right way, which is credential, check references, only have a contract in place that is legally executable, and only provide half of the fee up front and half upon completion. Ensure that it's someone that you can communicate with, someone that you trust, and preferably, and I do this in my business and I encourage people to do it in theirs, is work through the referral system, which is reach out to people who you know are happy with their web presence and find out who they used. Maybe an excellent resource for you. But a true professional doesn't disappear with someone's files. H&A's policy is that once you've paid for them in full, you own them, they are yours. And although we may set up your hosting for you, we do it and register it in your name and relinquish all of those things to you. And that's really, in my opinion, the way it should be done, although the way I think things should be done is not always how they are done. So if this has occurred and you no longer have access, or you've lost your website, or you've lost a chunk of money trying to get one built and it's not where you want it to be, I am sorry that that's occurred. But some of the items that I described here will help prevent history repeating itself as you proceed with getting your web presence in place. And I wish you the very, very bestest of luck. And if you need web designers but don't need strategy and branding and all that great stuff, I have awesome referrals for folks, so feel free to inbox me and I'd be happy to relinquish those names to you. And that's about it. So protect your assets, guys, like you would with any part of your business, and ensure that you are the owner of the things that you are going to put out there that represent your brand, and that way you always have recourse. Thanks.